In Texas, we celebrate football like it's a religion, and we wanted to dive into that and understand that a little bit more. But we also wanted to pick it apart and say, are we hurting our kids? Are we creating an environment that's too dangerous? Are we not educating players? We're just getting them out there on the field to play. So I think we did a great job this weekend of capturing all of those issues with such an amazing array of speakers, all of it at the top of their game.
From money to health concerns related to playing football, to generally how it impacts our communities that we live in and work in.
Let's have an open dialogue about where the sport is it safe, when should I play my child, should my child play, should he not play?
They got to know a little bit more about a sport that they didn't really understand. I think we challenged some assumptions and we opened up some new ideas for people. So I'm really excited to do what the Lyceum does best, is really dive into an issue and look at it from all angles.
The highlight for me was getting to sit next to Brad Sham again and kind of flash back to what we did for about 10 years.
I think for many people, one of the highlights was Brad Sham and Dale Hansen. I mean, they need to take that show on the road. Those guys were so much fun.
Dale Hansen. The thing that impressed me more with those guys was their passion for what they do, and you could feel it, see it.
Anytime that I'm with Dale in conversation, it's enjoyable, and particularly in front of a crowd, because Dale told me once that if he had not been a sportscaster, he'd have been a stand-up comic.
It's always fun to just kind of swap stories with Brad and talk about where we've been and where the NFL in particular is going.
I just think that they were talking about the new world and how everything's evolving and changing, and the vice president was talking about equal pay and stuff like that. I just think that just me being a female high school kicker, there's girls that are gonna try and come out and do stuff that boys can do because it's a new world and things are changing, and girls want to be recognized just as much as guys do.
And certainly Troy Vincent from the NFL was a rock star. I mean, he really kicked off the day in a great way, talking from the heart about a lot of really serious and intense issues, but showing us what he cares about as someone who's leading the NFL, and how he cares about these players and their development and how they treat women in particular, and treat the community and those around them.
I think these discussions today in this kind of forum, we get better because we can talk about solutions, we can share experiences that have either we've had success or lack of. And maybe someone else can go home today and have a discussion with their child or with their husband or with their wife about one of the topics that may resonate in their household.
We're finally having a conversation in Texas about the role of business and money in the sport, as well as science, and where the two overlap. The takeaway is that there's research that needs to be done, and we're finally, I think, starting that.
There's not been a lot of innovation from a helmet technology standpoint over the last 40 years, and we think we've brought something that's new, that's very innovative, and we hope that also spurs additional research and more innovation from some of the other companies. We think we've set the bar pretty high with a 0-1 helmet. We hope that'll change the game and help make it safer.
The recruiting panel, to me, was one of the most interesting panels, largely because we had a Heisman Trophy winner, Ricky Williams, on that panel. I think for everyone to kind of understand his story, and he told it in typical Lyceum fashion.
For the people on the outside who don't understand the intricacies of recruiting, I think they got a lot of information out of us today.
And one of the things that was really interesting about high school recruiting was not losing sight of the fact that these are young men in development, and we can't lose sight of these young men developing just as really good people, and not just about making it to the next level, about the things that football teach off the field, well beyond what happens on the field.
There were some amazing panelists today who had very unique insights and experiences, and we can learn a lot just by listening and by gathering that type of information with folks like that.
So one of the things that the Lyceum loves to do is to have an experience. So we want to hear about these issues, but then we want to experience them. So with a topic like football, we had to get our team out on the field.
think the referees finally got it right in the end. They had to call one for us.
No, the referees came in from the other team. That is not the case, sir.
So your ref came in.